I simply want to build a better car, no matter what kind of technology it takes. And although modern technology is advancing so insanely fast that it feels like our eyes are popping out of our heads, almost no one would have believed that one day you could just pour tap water into a tank and the car would start driving. Yet Toyota has now presented an entirely new generation of engines. According to them, this technology could end the entire electric car era. And suddenly, the idea of a car powered by water doesn't sound crazy at all. But let's be honest. Can a car really run on nothing but water, no gasoline, no electricity? Is that even possible? And could this invention really flip the entire history of automobiles upside down? Let's talk about the wildest new developments in the automotive world. Clear up what Toyota has actually said about this so-called water engine that's causing chaos everywhere right now, and see what's behind the hype. Let's get started. At its core, the technology Toyota is presenting isn't magic at all. It's a scientific process, one that has now been pushed to a level of efficiency never seen before. The idea is to split water into hydrogen and oxygen directly inside the car, use the hydrogen as fuel, and then recombine it with oxygen inside a fuel cell to generate electricity. And the only thing that comes out of the tailpipe is pure water vapor. The idea isn't new, but this is the first time a global giant like Toyota has said, "We're finally at the point where we can bring this to the road," potentially disrupting an industry worth trillions. When you break it down, it sounds like 7th grade chemistry. But packing all of this into a car with thousands of components and extreme safety requirements turns it into a monster of engineering. The electrolyzer, which used to sit only in factories, has now been made so small by Toyota that it fits directly inside a car. The driver fills the vehicle with water. The electrolyzer takes electricity from a small onboard battery or from renewable energy sources and splits H2O into hydrogen and oxygen. The hydrogen is then either pumped directly into a combustion chamber or sent into a fuel cell to generate electricity. Toyota's engineers had to redesign injectors, spark plugs, valves, the entire engine block, and even the materials used because hydrogen explodes very differently from gasoline. All of this was done to create a combustion engine that runs on hydrogen, is safe, delivers power, and emits zero toxins. The most exciting part about this new technology is that water is incredibly easy to store. It's super cheap and thousands of times safer than the 700 bar pressure tanks used in normal hydrogen cars. That has always been the biggest problem. Toyota wants to eliminate that problem entirely by carrying water instead of hydrogen and letting the car produce its own hydrogen whenever it needs it. That solves the safety issue and makes clean vehicles possible, even in regions where hydrogen fuel stations won't exist for the next 20 years. What makes this story even crazier is that water cars have appeared in the past dozens of times. And every single time, the idea either went bankrupt or turned out to be a scam. Genepax in Japan in 2008 turned out to rely on metal hydrides instead of pure water as advertised. Stanley Meyer convinced half of America that he could power a car with water, until a court ruled in 1996 that it was fraud. Then there were Aquagen, Genesis World Energy, and various self-proclaimed inventors in Sri Lanka or Indonesia, one after another exposed because they violated the most basic law of physics. Water is already in its lowest energy state. You always have to put more energy in than you get out when burning hydrogen again. No serious automaker ever touched the idea. Until now, Toyota arrives, and suddenly, everyone has to look again. The key difference is simple. Toyota never claims to get energy from water. They only claim to make the production and use of hydrogen safer, more compact, and more flexible. The energy still comes from electricity for the electrolyzer, and electricity produced again in the fuel cell. Water is just the safe, simple, universally available storage medium in between. With their new electrolyzer and improved hydrogen combustion engines, Toyota wants to pull hydrogen out of its niche and push it toward becoming a true mass-market solution. Behind this entire project is a massive plan. Toyota no longer wants to be just a traditional car manufacturer. They want to become a full mobility company. Not just selling cars, but building an entire clean energy ecosystem that supports global transportation. Takeru Kato, head of Toyota's BEV division, and Mitsumasa Yamagata, the chief of the new hydrogen factory that has been running since July 2024, both say clearly Toyota is now betting everything on hydrogen becoming the major topic of the 21st century. And this isn't PR talk. There are more than 5,000 patents behind it. Since 2014, production cars like the Mirai have already been driving on the road. Toyota even produces hydrogen from chicken manure, food waste, rice husks, and other biomass. Compared to lithium batteries, Toyota's hydrogen approach has several massive advantages. The fuel water is practically limitless. Refueling takes just 3 to 5 minutes. Hydrogen has a higher energy density than batteries. It doesn't require mining rare metals. And, most importantly, it works extremely well in freezing temperatures, where EVs can lose 30–40% of their performance. That's why Toyota believes that while China and the US are fully committed to lithium batteries, there is still a third path to zero-emission mobility. While the world is obsessed with EVs, Toyota has quietly prepared an entirely different long-term game, one they believe is far more sustainable. If EVs are the quick solution to reducing emissions right now, hydrogen opens the door to a transportation system that relies far less on mining, avoids the major downsides of lithium-ion batteries, and doesn't require global power grids to be massively expanded. Because Toyota is thinking in decades, not quarters, they aren't chasing sales numbers like everyone else. They're placing one stone at a time, slowly and steadily. Even if the world calls them slow, one of the smartest moves is their new development program for next-generation electrolyzers and fuel cells. It's not just about better performance. The primary goal is to slash costs. In their hydrogen factory, the target is to reduce the cost of the next fuel cell generation by 50%. If they achieve that, hydrogen will no longer be a luxury technology used only in pilot projects, but will become mainstream for cars, trucks, buses, and even home power generators. This is huge because the hydrogen market is expected to explode from 2030 onward in Europe, North America, and China, exactly where rapid emission cuts are needed, but where not everything can be powered by batteries. And Toyota is also pushing something almost no one is talking about: liquid hydrogen. It has far higher energy density than compressed hydrogen and is perfect for long distances and heavy vehicles. Japan is the first country in the world to approve road use for hydrogen combustion engines. That has never happened before. It shows how advanced the technology already is. In the future, Toyota hopes that heavy trucks running on liquid hydrogen will completely replace diesel and give the world a zero-emission logistics system. But behind all the engineering is a much bigger story, one with massive economic and social implications. The world is currently chained to the battery supply chain. Lithium, cobalt, nickel, all finite, all concentrated in only a few countries, all geopolitically explosive. China is the battery factory of the world and dominates the market. The US and Europe are racing to catch up, creating a chaotic, high-pressure competition. Toyota understands that whoever controls energy in the future must bet on a fuel that is truly unlimited and available everywhere: water and hydrogen. What makes Toyota's hydrogen strategy so unique is that they don't see it as the enemy of batteries, but as their perfect partner.